let's shine a spotlight on the criminal underbelly.
What's the worst that could happen?
FBI, open the door! Open the door!
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 crime epics in film.
A refinery and a scrapyard. What the hell is going on?
For this list, we're looking at movies that tell stories that focus on the criminal world. A film like Goodfellas, though masterful, doesn't fit the traditional definition of a film epic.
Who the f*** asked you anything? I didn't even ask you anything. At least wait to hear what I'm going to say.
All right, what?
Number 10, Gangs of New York.
This is fresh meat. What I mean, we need to tenderize this meat a little bit.
When you combine two of the greatest actors of this or any generation, in this case Leonardo DiCaprio and Daniel Day-Lewis, with the skills of director Martin Scorsese, the results are bound to be fabulous.
What is your name?
Amsterdam, sir.
Amsterdam. I'm New York.
Bill the Butcher Cutting is an entity unlike any other we've ever seen.
Whoopsie daisy!
Violent and theatrical, he's a crime boss who holds immense political sway over those around him by force of will alone. When our protagonist sets out to bring him down, it's an almost insurmountable task, but also one of necessary and, yes, epic proportions.
When you kill a king, you don't stab him in the dark. You kill him where the whole court can watch him die.
Number 9, American Gangster. This Oscar-nominated biographical drama depicts the life and times of gangster Frank Lucas and his journey to become one of Harlem's most successful drug dealers.
The most important thing in business is honesty, integrity, hard work, family, never forgetting where we came from.
As can be imagined, nothing is easy, and Lucas must contend with another mafia boss in the city, as well as the brutally honest detective that's investigating him.
His tickets were phenomenal. Better seats than Dominic Catano, right? Joe Louis shook his hand. Who the f*** is this guy?
The result is a stark and engaging flick filled with vibrant acting and heavy themes that won the praise of critics and moviegoers alike.
Oh, what you gonna do? What the fuck you gonna do, Frank? Huh? What you doing? You gonna shoot me in front of everybody? Huh? Come on.
Number 8, Scarface.
¿Cómo se llama?
Antonio Montana. And you? What you call yourself?
First you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the women.
And then you're gonna find out your biggest problem is not bringing in the stuff, but what to do with all the f***ing cash!
I hope I have that problem someday.
When Cuban refugee Tony Montana arrived in Miami, a life of mediocrity was never in the cards.
I kill a communist for fun, but for a green card, I'm gonna carve him up real nice.
Willing to do anything and everything to gain the respect that he knows he deserves, Tony's life story is fraught with violence, vulgarity, and excess. And we get to see it play out in front of us in this crime drama.
Say hello to my little friend!
Hugely influential on many films that followed, as well as pop culture in general, this rags-to-riches story depicts every stage of a crime kingpin's life in glorious and graphic detail.
Amigo, the only thing in this world that gives orders is balls. You got it?
Number 7, Bonnie and Clyde.
You just wait right here and you keep your eyes open.
Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow were criminals and lovers who managed to capture the attention and hearts of the public in the midst of the Great Depression.
You're a nutcap.
In the capable hands of producer Warren Beatty and director Arthur Penn, who told the story in style, Bonnie and Clyde was a breakthrough in new Hollywood cinema and featured an infamously bloody conclusion.
Hey.
Despite the titular character's violent and destructive actions, The sentiment of taking from the rich made the criminal pair folk heroes during their heyday, and has continued to ring true with audiences to this day.
It's the stick up, you just take it easy and nothing gonna happen to you. Hattie, give me the money. Give me the money.
Number 6. The Departed.
Watch what happens!
Martin Scorsese brought together an all-star cast to bring his vision for this film to life. And it'd all be worth it, as The Departed finally landed him the Oscar for Best Director that had eluded him up until that point.
Frank, look at me. Look at me. I'm not the fucking rat, okay?
A story where the lines between good and evil are blurred. The remake of the 2002 Hong Kong film Infernal Affairs sees Leo's undercover cop infiltrate the mob.
Look, there is a rat in your unit. That is a fact, all right?
And Matt Damon playing a mole in the police for the same crime family.
I can get the rat. You just gotta let me do it my way, Frank.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Jack Nicholson's Frank Costello, in one of many great performances in his storied career, is an absolute joy to behold.
School's out.
Thank you, Frank.
Number 5. L.A. Confidential.
I wondered when you might knock on my door again, Officer White.
Based on the novel of the same name, Curtis Hanson's film adaptation was strong enough to launch the Hollywood careers of Guy Pearce and future heavyweight Russell Crowe. LA Confidential is focused on a group of LAPD officers who overcome their differences to seek justice for the victims of the serial killer known as the Night Owl.
Anything bothering you about the Night Owl case?
Yeah, the fact that you guys won't let it get filed away.
With substance, style, and beautiful cinematography, the neo-noir detective flick manages to drop you directly into the 1950s in the best way possible.
What are you doing here? Hey, you know me, I'm keeping the streets safe, boys. All right, take these two and get them dressed and book them.
Thanks to its tackling of crime, the psychology of its characters, and its representation of Los Angeles, it also won 2 Oscars and earned rave reviews.
Dudley killed Jack. He wants you to kill me.
Number 4. Heat.
I spend all my time chasing guys like you around the block. That's my life.
Marketed mostly around the fact that Hollywood heavyweights Al Pacino and Robert De Niro would be sharing big screen time, Heat is actually so much more than that.
Give me all you got! Give me all you got!
Featuring what is arguably the greatest modern shootout scene in film history, it is without a doubt a superb crime epic, as well as a masterpiece in a bevy of other genres.
Well, that's an interesting point.
Cited as a heavy influence on several films that followed it, including The Dark Knight, the critically acclaimed film is deep, compelling, and well acted.
That's the discipline.
Plus, its dark themes and story of LA had us all hooked.
You see me doing thrill-seeker liquor store holdups with a Born to Lose tattoo on my chest?
No, I do not.
Right. I am never going back.
Number 3. The Untouchables.
You fellas are untouchable. Is that the thing? No one can get to you?
Al Capone is a legendary gangster who found his way to the screen several times. But it was his portrayal by Robert De Niro that is one of the most memorable.
I grew up in a tough neighborhood. And we used to say you can get further with a kind word and a gun than you can with just a kind word.
The fact that it wasn't a major role in comparison to Kevin Costner's Elliot Ness makes it all the more impressive.
I want you to get this where he breathes. I want you to find this Nancy boy, Elliot Ness. I want him dead. I want his family dead. I want his house burnt to the ground. I want to go to the middle of the night. I want to piss on his ashes.
Depicting the story of a small group of officers who deduce a way of bringing down the crime boss through the pedestrian route of tax evasion, The Untouchables is tense and riveting, thanks to Brian De Palma's direction. Meanwhile, Sean Connery, in yet another highly heralded supporting role, landed the only Academy Award of his career, as Jimmy Malone, an Irish-American cop and mentor to Ness.
I'm gonna count to 3. Oh, what's the matter? Can't you talk with a gun in your mouth?
Number 2. Once Upon a Time in America.
There they are, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Sergio Leone was a filmmaker known for crafting some of the best westerns of all time. So to choose to direct an epic crime drama as his last movie ever seemed like a bold move at the time. Unfortunately, this bold move paid massive dividends for audiences everywhere.
You'll put up and you'll shut up. You hear nothing and you see nothing. Just like you did for Bugsy.
Even with run times ranging from 139 to a mind-boggling 251 minutes, depending on the region of release, each version of Once Upon a Time in America is beloved.
Let's just think about it, Noodles. They're gonna ask us to come in with them. There's a lot in it for us.
Set during the Prohibition era and tackling issues as varied as love, sex, money, and death in the world of organized crime in New York City, there can be little debate that this film deserves its place on this list.
You'll carry that stink of the streets with you the rest of your life.
I like the stink of the streets. It makes me feel good. I like the smell of it. It opens up my lungs.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are some honorable mentions.
549 criminals at once. How did you convince Cirillo to hear this farce?
She shares my enthusiasm for justice.
You might as well come down, Sheriff. There's no one left but you.
Uma fotografia podia mudar minha vida. Mas na cidade de Deus, se correr o bicho pega, e se ficar o bicho come.
Can't do it alone, you know. Takes a mob of guys like you and enough money to make them look good.
I know plenty of guys.
It's not like playing winos in the street. You can't outrun
I never
Lonnie.
played for no winos.
You gotta keep his con even after you take his money. He can't know you took him.
I want you to rest well, and a month from now, this Hollywood big shot's gonna give you what you want.
Too late. They start shooting in a week.
Number 1, The Godfather.
Make him an offer he can't refuse.
Spanning from Italy to America, as well as 2 generations of a crime family, The Godfather is the most preeminent crime epic in film history. When family patriarch Vito Corleone finds his life is in danger, his children come together to keep him alive and to maintain their position at the top of the crime world.
I don't apologize. That's my life, but I thought that when it was your time that you would be the one to hold the strings.
Followed up by one of the best sequels of all time.
My offer is this. Nothing.
The Francis Ford Coppola flick was surrounded by so many production worries that the studio kept a standby director at the ready.
He said I have a guarantee. No more attempts on my father's life.
What guarantees can I give you, Mike?
But considering how much critical acclaim it was showered with, and the fact that it took home more awards than we can list here, there's no doubt that Coppola and The Godfather's cast and crew came together to create an absolute masterpiece. Do you agree with our list? What's your favorite epic crime film?
He's not as tough as he thinks.
Neither are we.
For more movie top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
He finally got to the top of the world, and it blew right up in his face.